Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all having a good day. We're back here with the Stoppage Time podcast. As always, my co-host Val is with me. How are you today, Val?
Good, bro. Finally a sunny day, man. After all that rain, finally, the sun's out.
Yeah, finally, weather is acting like Sydney, not like Manchester. And also joining us today is a good mate of mine and the founder of playereleven store, Alessio. How are you today?
Hi guys, I'm good. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, good. So for those of you that haven't seen playereleven store, Alessio is of course the founder and runs all their social media and shipping and operations. Can you talk to us a bit about playereleven for those that aren't familiar with it?
Well, playereleven actually stands for all the 11 positions on the football field. Playereleven is a really good training equipment store that you can get that can best suit for any single player, down from the goalkeeper to the manager, even to the strikers and the midfielders. We sell nothing but the best quality football gear to help all of our players to achieve their 20 plus 30 goals a season.
Very good, Alessio.
Beautiful.
And where can we find you? Any social media that we can find you on?
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Our website is playereleven.com.au on the internet. And yeah.
Thanks for the update. As always, we will leave the links to Alessio's social media and playereleven social media in our description, so please go check them out. As Alessio said, very good quality gear for all teams at all levels. But moving on, Alessio, as a Chelsea fan, you've been in the news recently. Your owner, due to the situation going on with Ukraine and Russia at the moment, will unfortunately have to sell the club. Without getting into the political ramifications of why he's had to do that, how do you see this impacting Chelsea?
Look, if another buyer comes along and they don't want to invest the right amount of money into our club to buy great quality players, just like Abramovich has bought over the years, then I don't see how Chelsea can excel from here. We need a buyer who's ready to invest and ready to buy players and do nothing but excel the club. And if that's not going to work, then mate, we really need to look for a good one.
Just one more thing on that. Abramovich has listed the club at $3 billion. That's how much he wants to sell it for. Firstly, do you think anyone will pay that much for Chelsea? And secondly, do you think Abramovich cares enough to put the club in good hands with someone that will actually care for the club?
Well, first of all, that's not enough money because Chelsea is a Champions League winning club, 2 times Champions League winning club, first of all, right? We're one of the best clubs in the world. So yes, I do think it's worth that amount of money. I heard Conor McGregor's in for it as well. I don't think he's a Chelsea fan, but I heard he's in for it as well. But look, mate, the fans love Abramovich, and we don't want anybody else less than him. So he's going to have to look for somebody the same standard as him. Otherwise, the club's just going to go downhill from there.
On that note, Val, we're obviously familiar with shit owners under Glazer ownership at Man United. If that sort of American owner style comes and takes over Chelsea, how do you see their deterioration from here?
Well, look, I'm hoping it's not going to end up like what Arsenal and United ended up. Obviously, you know how American owners work. I think they only care about their NFL teams and what's going on in America, and leave the English clubs for like tax purposes. That's what I always say. But look, it depends on which owner might come. It might not be an American owner. It might be a Saudi owner. It might be the petrol money that City has as well, or Newcastle has. But look, it's going to be a very interesting one. Look, I feel sorry. Look, this sort of situation, when it comes to like football and politics, and as well as we've spoken at our first couple of episodes, obviously from a football side of perspective, we shouldn't be involving politics. It's sad to see this situation of what's going on. Yes, wars are terrible. Regardless of that, whatever country it is, wars are terrible. But when you mix politics with football, it destroys the whole game completely. And for owners now to start selling their clubs and for players destroying their career, I mean, the Ukrainian player Timoshuk, he wasn't supposedly standing up for Ukraine, and he got stripped everything. Whatever he's worked hard from day dot, everything got taken off him. So it's really sad to see that when football gets involved in politics. But other than that, hopefully Chelsea find a good owner, because we do want that competitiveness from Chelsea. Obviously, when Abramovich came in, was it 2003, 2004?
Yep. In that time frame, no club in England has won more trophies. So that obviously shows the impact that he's had on Chelsea.
There you go. He's done a lot for Chelsea, and credit to him because he's put a lot of money. That's what an owner's all about: putting money into the club, investing into the club, and buying quality players. And look at the players that they've created over the last couple of years. I mean, remember those years, those early 2000s, where it was Mourinho when he came into Chelsea, and there was competitiveness with Arsenal and United. You know, we had that sort of competitive Premier League. But look, it's sad to see that. But at the same time, hopefully Chelsea finds a good owner. Because we love competing with Chelsea. Chelsea is one of the best clubs, as Alessio says, one of the best clubs in the world. So, you know, fingers crossed. Hopefully all goes well for them.
I'll just get my 2 cents worth in this. Although Chelsea may not find, let's say, an owner that's as passionate as Abramovich, and the reason I say it's more likely to be an American owner is because of the new character test that the PFA has introduced. And that's going to be heavily scrutinised now with all the controversy after Newcastle's takeover and world events right now. So for that reason, that's why I can see it being an American owner. However, for me, that's not necessarily worst case scenario because the reason being, if you can, Liverpool are owned by American owners, but they've given Klopp all that power. So if you have owners that are willing to let football people make the football decisions and they just take care of the business side, I can still see Chelsea being very self-sustainable because they've developed their academy to the extent that it can be that way. You see all the players that Chelsea is shipping out on loan. That's effectively funding their transfer budget. Alessio, just your final thoughts on that?
I agree with what you said, George. We need a new owner who's passionate about the club. Not just about the club, but passionate about football. Because if you're getting some owner who's passionate about AFL, he's going to leave he's not going to put as much time and effort into the club. He's not going to invest the money and he's not going to buy the right players. He's not going to do the right things that all the fans want him to do. And that's what we need. We need somebody who's going to put his life into the Chelsea Football Club and maintain it as the best club in the world. Because right now, arguably, we are the best club in the world. We just won the Champions League. And whoever wins the Champions League next can say that they're the best club in the world.
I take your point. And the reason that I don't necessarily think you need a passionate owner is like, as I said earlier, just looking at Liverpool's case, I can tell you right now, FSG do not give two shits about Liverpool. But what they have done is they've given all that power to Klopp. And he has proved that he's capable of making very good football decisions. So whoever's Chelsea new owner, whoever that may be, even if they don't necessarily care about Chelsea, so long as they give Tuchel or any other smart football-minded power and just give them the resources that they need, I still think you're more than capable. But moving on, Alessio, as a proud Italian, your World Cup qualification isn't certain. So for those of you that in the audience that aren't sure of how the final 3 European World Cup spots are being decided, the top 10 of the UEFA qualifying groups the top of all 10 groups, they've all progressed straight to the World Cup. Whoever finished, the 10 teams that finished second, as well as the 2 teams who had the best Nations League ranking, have all been divided into 3 groups of 4. And of those 3 groups of 4, only 1 team will be progressing. And those formats are 2 one-off games, one being a semi and one a final. Alessio, in your Italy's group, you're facing other heavyweights, Portugal, and 2 countries that Greece has an interesting relationship with, Turkey and Macedonia. Obviously, Italy's first game will be against Macedonia, and the winner will be playing the winner of Portugal and Turkey. How do you see that panning out?
If Italy have a good game and Portugal have a good game, Portugal will win. Italy's very hit and miss. One year, we don't make the World Cup. The next year, we win the Euros. This year, we might have potentially not make the World Cup. So, we're very inconsistent in a way.
Ironically, the last country that's won their continental tournament hasn't qualified for the next World Cup is me and Val's Greece. So that would be history. It would be great to get that record off our back. But on Italy,
since 2014,
obviously, yeah, since 2014 we haven't made it. But even after we won the 2004 Euros, we didn't qualify for the 06 World Cup. But with regards to Italy, obviously Chiesa's not going to be there. Insigne's a 50-50 because of his move to Toronto. The old guard at the back isn't necessarily there. How do you see Italy's lineup coming about?
Well, look, we struggle a lot with our strikers, and we need to put those goals away. We struggle a lot with our goal scoring tally because our defense is, in my opinion, is great. It's strong, it's solid, but if if we get a good, strong lineup, we could potentially beat them. In Mobley at striker, he does really well in the Serie A, but he doesn't really put those goals away when he's playing up front on the world stage. Berardi, he plays great. He's a good player. I rate him a lot. Always scores, always assists. But without Chiesa in that starting lineup, that could affect us really bad.
Looking at the other side of the draw, we're assuming that Portugal probably beat Turkey in that one-off game. Where do you see, apart from Ronaldo, where do you see your threats coming from Portugal?
Mate, Portugal's a really strong team right now. Silva, Man City's center attacking mid, he's been playing good. Their defenders have been playing amazing as well.
João Cancelo, just to name one of them. Ruben
Diaz, and Cancelo as well. So they're a very strong team, and Italy is going to struggle against them when they come up against them. So pretty worried about that game.
Val, from a neutral's point of view, how are you seeing all this? Firstly, I want to get your thoughts on this second chance qualifying in UEFA, and then how you see Italy's group panning out.
Yeah, look. First, I want to say I hate this new the way of qualifying. It's probably the worst thing. I'm sure you remember back then where we had first qualifiers automatic and then second just goes to a playoff. I mean, today, nowadays and age, they have stuffed up the system completely. I don't like it completely. But anyway, look, I think the Italy-Portugal game, it's going to be very interesting. But as
assuming
always,
assuming that's what the game is,
yeah,
and there's no upsets before.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Most likely, yeah. But at the same time, I think it's obviously, like Alessio said, it's going to be very difficult for Italy. But we know how Italy is. I mean, they showed their fight in the Euros. Yes, they were up against opponents that obviously they had England in the final as well. But Italy is that type of team that will fight until the death. I mean, we're well known for the Italians to win, obviously, the World Cup in 2006. They fought so many teams. They had a good team as well. But regardless of what Portugal has, the tables could flip and Italy could be dominant in that game. So you never know. Italy do have quality players, but it's just a matter on the day, whoever turns up. But I'm putting my eyes out on Italy to qualify, but it's going to be a very difficult game. I'm sure it's going to be a great game from a neutral's perspective.
Assuming Italy and Portugal will be that final game to play off. I don't know. I see Portugal going through, and the reason being is I feel like Italy will be pragmatic, sit back, knowing that they're probably not going to have their full strength lineup available to them, and that's going to play right into Bernardo Silva's hands. João Cancelo, a great cross of the ball, when Ronaldo can actually get service, and it's not Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Alex Tellez crossing the ball to him. It's nice when it's good fullbacks crossing it, and ultimately I think he'll get his chances because Italy sitting back are only going to invite pressure on themselves, and Portugal, with defenders such as Ruben Dias, are more than capable of playing a high line. But just on the World Cup qualifiers, arguably the most talked about group of four, apart for non-footballing reasons, is the one which involves Russia, Sweden, Poland, and the Czech Republic. One of those games was meant to be played in Russia. Obviously, that won't be happening now. Those games will be played at a neutral venue. The interesting thing is that Poland, Sweden, and the Czech Republic have said they don't want to play Russia. How do you see that whole scenario panning out without getting too political about it? Unless you first.
Look, I can understand why they don't want to play him. I mean, what's going on right now in the world is terrible. And, the world's going to do all they can do to support Ukraine, even if it means not playing a game of football against Russia. Look, I don't know how they're going to figure this one out. Maybe they're just going to disqualify Russia and then the teams get a point or go up against each other. Maybe one team gets a bye and then they figure it out from there. But I don't know how they're going to figure this one out.
Val, your thoughts?
Yeah, look, without getting too political, it's going to be a difficult one. I don't know. I don't even know how to handle this situation when you're disqualifying a team, especially like Russia or anyone, regardless. It's a difficult one to do, to sort out. But look, like I said before, it's sad to see that that other people get punished for a political thing. You know what I mean? Like I said before, war is not good at all, regardless of what country you're in. Like, war is terrible. But at the same time, like I said before, politics and football should not be mixed together because it causes hatred and it causes a split between nations. So, look, it's going to be a difficult one, but I'm sure UEFA and FIFA will sort it out. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I have no comment with that. We'll see how it goes.
The way I see this happening is that it'll be like the way Russia's competed in the Olympics and the Winter Olympics. It'll be the Russian Football Union, and those games will just go ahead as scheduled, and probably not in Russia. They'll probably be in the Czech Republic or Sweden. But moving on, very, very enthralling Champions League time between PSG and Real Madrid this morning. Alessio, what do you think of it?
Honestly, I thought PSG had it in the bag. I did, right, but Benzema's just too on form, way too on. So is the Real Madrid midfield. That's what people are doing. The midfield in Real Madrid is so strong that they can go up and they can go back. They can go up and they can go back, and they can have so many different roles in that midfield that they apply so much support to the attack. Benzema is just an animal. He's just insane. Honestly, I thought PSG were going to win it, especially with their new signing, Messi. Well, he doesn't really do much anymore, does he?
Just for our Arsenal fans out there, you can take the man out of Tottenham, but you can't take the Tottenham out of the man. And of course, we're talking about Pochettino. Val, on your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I actually ended up watching the full game, and it was an entertaining game. Benzema, like Alessio said, Benzema was killing it. Modric emptied his pockets, and Messi was in it. As you saw in the game, it was. I don't know what's going on. Look, you know, I'm sure George knows, and Alessio is going to start understanding like where I'm coming from now. Like, obviously, I'm a Ronaldo fan, not a Messi fan, but I always defend Ronaldo. But it's funny now that Messi's gone missing. None of the media, the mainstream media, is attacking Messi for it.
I've heard, yes, I agree.
Have you noticed? But if Ronaldo misses a shot, it just goes crazy. Everyone goes crazy, which is very biased. But anyway, look, it was an entertaining game. Benzema's the gun. He killed it today. And like I said, Madrid will go all the way. And I'm telling you that from now. I'm going to click this in the end. And
Chelsea, mate. Chelsea's going to win it. Mark my words.
Look, just on the game. Yeah, just on the game. I actually thought it was a pretty evenly poised game in which PSG shot themselves in the foot more often than not. I think if Mbappe could time his run a bit better, the way that he sat down Courtois was fantastic. It's just a shame it was an offside goal. But then afterwards, on Real Madrid, Benzema's first goal, Donnarumma made two mistakes. The first one, if you panic, just kick it out. But no, he takes a touch towards his own goal line, and then he goes and plays the ball across his own goal line. Two mistakes within a second of each other, obviously going to be punished by a goal. So for Real Madrid, for PSG's midfield, I think it was Idrissa Gana in that case. It was what's his name, Diallo, not to track Mbappe's run. That was for the second goal. Very lazy defending. If that was McTominay or Fred for United, we'd be saying we don't want to see them in a jersey again. And the third goal, what are PSG thinking? Playing the ball across their goal straight to him, Benzema effectively crossing it to him. As great as Real Madrid. Go on, Alessio.
Well, as a child, even when you're coming up through the youth, you're always taught not to cross the ball across goal, not to pass it across goal, not to mess around with it at the back. And that's what he did. He stuffed around with it at the back and costed them a really important goal.
So as fantastic as Real Madrid's win was, I'll full credit to them. I think PSG shot themselves in the foot more so than Real Madrid playing fantastic, which they did. Real Madrid were fantastic. I do think PSG were also good, but ultimately they shot themselves in the foot. And just you were all giving who you thought were winning the Champions League. Alessio, obviously you're sticking with your boys. Val, you're going Real Madrid. Yeah. I'm going to propose the dream scenario just to piss off Arsenal fans. I'm going to say West Ham win the Europa League, United win the Champions League, and Arsenal finish fourth. And even though they finish fourth, that would mean they'd miss out on Champions League because the country can only send 5 teams into Europe. So into the Champions League. So if that scenario happened, I would love to see the meltdown on AFTV. That would make a whole month. So for all our viewers, Val and Alessio, Val as the head of Stoppage Time and Alessio as the head of Player11 have started collaborating with each other. Do you boys want to elaborate on the collaboration?
Yeah, so we got in contact a couple of days ago, obviously through George as well, and we wanted to create a. Obviously, like we said, we're creating more segments and content coming up in the studio as well, and we'll be doing a warehouse content in warehouses and stuff, and on the pitch as well. And we decided to link up together with Player11, Alessio, and do videos and stuff. And pretty much Alessio is a part of us now, a part of Stoppage Time. We wanted to do this because obviously I'm sure the people have seen like what Alessio has brought out with Player11, regardless of whether it's equipment, whether it's video content, training, and all that sort of stuff. And we were happy with it, and we got in contact, and it's a start of something good. I've always wanted to collaborate with another company as well. And with Player11, we couldn't think of a better company to be with. And look, very happy. And a lot of things are going to happen in 2022 with Player11. We're a massive family now. So, so get excited. I'm sure Alessio's excited as well.
Do you want to elaborate on that, Alessio?
Of course I'm excited. Very excited, Both of our pages have nothing but great football content on it. No matter from chats about football, down to the politics side, down to the training, down to getting your gear, or showing you how our gear works in fun and different exciting videos that we're about to actually, make for our viewers to enjoy. Not just to, learn new skills, but to actually come on and have a laugh and feel like they're engaging with us while they're watching our videos. So I think there's a lot here that is going to become something big, because we all love football.
Ronaldo just drove past, boys. I don't know if you heard the car; he just drove past. But anyway, I thought
that was Potter's playing leaving Paris after he's getting the sack.
No, it was Ronaldo in his taxi on the way to get the ball.
I want to touch up on Alessio, what he said before. We're in the making of creating a website as well for Stoppage Time, an official website. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to have our Stoppage Time website, and also we're going to have Player11 their website on. So whatever gear you want to get, so it's going to be an upgrade as well. So they're going to have their own website as well, but we're going to link their website onto our page. So from our side as well as their side. So easy access from both ends. So like anything from gear, whatever you want. And yeah, plenty of content will be coming out as well. We will be doing a couple of, a couple of skills as well, a couple of challenges. And we'll see if the Chelsea boys are up for that challenge as well.
And just as you said that, I'll have on the Player11 website, a collection, a segment there with all the videos from the Stoppage Time podcast as well. So no matter what website you go on, either ours or mine or Val's, you will always have a quick link to whatever you want to watch or whatever you want to see, whatever engagement you'd like. Feel free to see whatever you want.
Very good from both of you boys. We are all looking forward to this partnership very much. Just a quick thank you to our sponsors, Cheat Day Sydney, New Genesis Entertainment and Apollo Entertainment Canberra, and also our new partners, Player11. For those of you watching for the first time, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And boys, thank you for joining us. Hope to chat soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care.